Hi, I'm Zahara. So I'm going to share a little story with you today. I spent the first half of my life extremely sick with a rare autoimmune disease, and I was a freshman in college when life as I knew it was over. I had just returned from winter break when I became extremely ill and had to leave campus to go to my hometown, and I ended up hospitalized for 5 weeks. I was crushed when I did return to school. I was able to get back to my classes for several weeks before summer came around. But when I got home for the summer, I knew that a normal job was out of the question. I had hours and days to sit around, really with nothing to do. And I wanted to get creative, but without really anywhere to go because I was really too ill to do that, I knew I needed an activity that allowed me to be at home. And I remembered I had an old beadbox sitting in a closet somewhere. I had used this beadbox 10 years prior when I was hospitalized for about 8 months, and I had made jewelry for the nurses and my visitors. So I thought, what a great opportunity. I can start to make jewelry again as a way to connect with healing. It also brought me some calm and peace. And it was a great distraction through the midst of a pretty severe illness. So as I started making jewelry, I realized I was pretty good at it. And I was able to make jewelry that was better than some of the jewelry I saw in local boutiques. And that made me feel like I could go out and sell it. I ended up building a fairly substantial and successful small business my freshman year of college, while I was sick from my home, from my couch. Later, this helped me build a global eco-spiritual jewelry business. And by then I realized I needed to have deeper meaning in my work for me personally. And I designed the line to have the purpose of healing. So why am I sharing this story with you? Right now, everyone is facing an unprecedented global pandemic. While it affects each of us in our own way, many people's lives have been uprooted and turned inside out. Life as we know it is temporarily frozen. Many jobs have been erased or drastically changed. Income is lowered or completely gone. And everything you clung to as a constant has pretty much disappeared. And that shakes people to their core. This type of catastrophe can bring about emotional trauma. It can bring it to the surface, and it can exacerbate chronic physical conditions. We are now forced to face many of our greatest fears, including extreme sickness or worse. For a lot of people, this is a moment not just to struggle, but just to survive. If we're able to step out of the chaos and the story for the moment, this can also be a tremendous opportunity to thrive. For me, although sickness had forever altered the way I lived, it bore great gifts. I would unlikely have never have realized that I was talented in jewelry making had I not had tons of time to sit around and make jewelry. Through the calamity, I managed to turn a side hobby into what ended up being my purpose, and I was able to build a successful business and prosper from it. A pandemic and other life-altering catastrophes like job loss or chronic illnesses are really not too different, right? They create an opportunity for you to connect with yourself. It gives you the chance to ask if what you're doing with your life is enough for you, or if you want to create more meaning and bring more meaning into your life in some way, somehow. The great part is likely you have more time and space to connect with yourself. And you can take up a hobby. You can write. You can do something you never thought you'd do, like put together a macrame art. Perhaps you will stumble upon your purpose when actually it's been there in front of you this whole time, just waiting for you, but you didn't really have that opening and space in your life to connect with it. So I really hope you take this time and opportunity to find out what's waiting for you and the gem that's been there all along, waiting to bring you prosperity. What are you waiting for? Start something.